They say music doesn't always pay the bills, but Taylor Swift just proved otherwise. At only 35 years old, she's not just breaking records on stage, she's making history in the bank. Forbes now confirms that Taylor has officially become the world's richest female musician with a staggering net worth of $1.6 billion. And here's the part that sets her apart from every other star. She's the first artist in history to earn $1 billion purely from music. No beauty empire like Rihanna, no fashion house like Kanye, no tequila brand like George Clooney. This is all music, tours, songwriting, and her own relentless fight for ownership. So how did the girl from Pennsylvania, once rejected by every Nashville label at age 11, climb to the very top of the global wealth ladder? According to Forbes 2025, Taylor Swift's empire sits at $1.6 billion, and almost all of it ties directly to her music. About $600 million comes from the value of her music catalogue, nearly $800 million from touring and royalties, and another $110 million locked up in real estate. That alone is jaw-dropping, but the bigger picture is even more impressive. Taylor is the first woman ever to cross the billion mark through music alone. No other female star has done it, not even Beyoncé, whose net worth is estimated at $760 million, or Rihanna, who stands at about $1.4 billion. Taylor has overtaken them both, solidifying herself as the undisputed queen of music and money. But what makes this even more powerful is that her path to billionaire status wasn't smooth. At one point, Taylor didn't even own her own songs. Back in 2019, Taylor's world was shaken when Scooter Braun's Ithaca Holdings acquired her first 6 album masters. She had no chance to buy them herself, and it felt like the work of her entire teenage and early adult years had been stolen. The catalogue later got flipped to Shamrock Capital in 2020, but even then, Taylor refused to stay silent. Instead, she launched one of the most ambitious projects in modern music, re-recording her old albums under the now iconic Taylor's Version banner. It wasn't just about money, it was about control. In 2021, she began releasing these re-recordings, and fans rallied behind her. The strategy worked. When she re-released 1989 Taylor's Version, it sold over 1.3 million copies in its first week, even surpassing the original release. That kind of loyalty not only shook the industry, but also changed how artists think about ownership forever. And finally, in May 2025, Taylor pulled off the ultimate victory. She officially bought back the original masters outright from Shamrock Capital, paying about $360 million, roughly the same figure the firm had paid earlier. On the New Heights podcast with her boyfriend Travis Kelce and his brother Jason, she described that moment with raw honesty. "I was like, I got my music back, and then just started absolutely heaving. This changed my life. I still can't believe it still." For an artist whose songs are literally pages of her diary, regaining ownership wasn't just financial, it was deeply personal. If the re-recordings showed Taylor's business genius, the Eras Tour proved her cultural power. Running from March 2023 to December 2024, it spanned 5 continents and became the highest-grossing tour in history, pulling in over $2 billion in ticket sales. To put that into perspective, that's more than double any other concert tour ever. More than 10,168,008 fans attended, and the demand was so overwhelming that Ticketmaster's system crashed, sparking congressional scrutiny over its monopoly. The Eras Tour film, released in 2023, grossed over $250 million at the box office, becoming the most successful concert film of all time. Its photobook sold nearly 1 million copies in its first week in the US alone. But the tour wasn't just about numbers. It created a cultural storm known as Swift Mania, with global economic and political ripples. Hotels filled, airlines spiked prices, and even local economies surged whenever Taylor came to town. At the same time, controversies followed. Poor venue management in Brazil led to the tragic death of a fan. A controversial exclusivity deal in Singapore stirred regional political backlash, and her UK fan base saw civil unrest after a stabbing tragedy at a Swift-themed workshop in Southport. In Vienna, entire concerts had to be cancelled due to foiled terrorist plots. Despite these shadows, the tour set a new bar for what a music spectacle can achieve, and it became the largest single driver of Taylor's billionaire status. Through it all, Taylor never stopped releasing new music. Since 2019, she's given fans a flood of albums: Lover, Folklore, Evermore, Midnights, The Tortured Poets Department, and now her 12th studio record, The Life of a Showgirl, announced in August 2025 on Travis Kelce's podcast. That single reveal episode drew over 11 million views in just 24 hours, proof of her unmatched star power. Her track record on the Billboard Hot 100 is staggering. In the 2010s, she dominated with hits like Shake It Off, Blank Space, Bad Blood, and Look What You Made Me Do. In the 2020s, she's only expanded that streak. Cardigan, Willow, All Too Well, 10-Minute Version, Anti-Hero, Cruel Summer, Is It Over Now, and Fortnight all topped the charts. Each era of her artistry, from country beginnings to indie folk detours, has turned to gold. Taylor's fortune is now bigger than some of the world's most famous figures. She's wealthier than NBA legend LeBron James, richer than Arnold Schwarzenegger, and ahead of filmmaker and mogul Tyler Perry. To put her $1.6 billion into perspective, she could buy 12,529 Porsche 911 Carreras, priced at around $127,700 each. With her Dassault Falcon 7X jet already worth $54 million, she could purchase 28 more private jets if she wanted. If she lived like the average American, spending about $77,280 per year, roughly $212 a day, her fortune would last 20,677 years. And if Taylor split her wealth evenly across the entire US population of 342 million, every single American would get $4.68. That's just enough for a filet-o-fish from McDonald's, or for a family of 4, about $18.72, which covers a month of Netflix without ads. But even with unimaginable wealth, Taylor hasn't stopped giving back. Over the years, she's donated millions to causes like disaster relief, cancer research, food banks, and arts education. During the Eras tour, she handed out $197 million in crew bonuses and supported local businesses in every city she visited. Politically, she's become more vocal since 2018. She openly criticized Donald Trump, endorsed Joe Biden and Kamala Harris in 2020, and backed the Harris-Walz ticket in 2024. She supported LGBTQ+ rights, donated to GLAAD and the Tennessee Equality Project, and performed at World Pride NYC 2019. She's also championed women's rights, slamming the US Supreme Court's 2022 abortion ruling and standing as a founding signatory of the Time's Up movement. What makes Taylor unique isn't just her wealth, it's her ability to evolve. From the country darling of 2006 to the pop powerhouse of 2014, to the indie folk storyteller of 2020, and now the billionaire mogul of 2025, she's mastered reinvention. Publications call her a musical chameleon, while academics hail her as the last great pop superstar. Her songwriting, once dismissed as teenage diary entries, is now celebrated as poetic, confessional, and generational. Her business acumen is equally legendary. By turning album variants, Easter eggs, and re-recordings into industry phenomena, she's redefined music marketing. The Taylor Swift factor boosted guitar sales among young women, influenced the global rise of poptimism, and proved that authenticity and commerce don't have to be opposites. And as of mid-2025, she's not only the most successful musician alive, she's the wealthiest female musician in history, redefining what it means to be an artist in control.